Stephanie and I don't even know how good this is going to sound at the time of recording. Honestly, I'm in a hotel in the breadbasket of America, middle of nowhere, and Stephanie's having some tech issues at home. And this is our first time recording podcasts apart from each other.
Yeah, the first time was a cakewalk compared to
Yeah,
this.
we're fully invested in this story we're creating for you guys of our real lives. Living apart, best friends.
All right, guys, we are officially on Apple Podcasts, so you know what that means. We need you to go ahead and rate us 5 stars and leave some reviews so we can keep doing this thing.
Hell yeah. This is Are We Having Fun? I'm Kaehla.
And I'm Steph.
And we are here coping with life the only way we know how, by having fun, one trip and a cocktail at a time. This is episode 2. Oh my god, we made it. We made it over the hump. We did the first one. We're doing it again.
We're back for more.
Today we are enjoying a prosecco with lychee liqueur. Add fresh lychee for some balls of fun. Because you know this episode is about taking life by the cojones. I'm on the road. Stephanie just got back from vacation. And we're here with you. So thank you so much for giving us episode 2. And we're going to get right into Stephanie's week in Yellowstone.
Where to begin? I feel like I need you to ask me some questions to
All right.
Pop this off.
I need to preface this with we are freaking exhausted, okay? So the energy...
And hurting.
Yeah, hurting. Okay, wait. Need to know more about that. The energy might be not ideal. Also, I think the AC just kicked on over here. Not ideal. So, okay, Stephanie, I have not really heard from you in like 2 weeks. Were you in Yellowstone for the entire 2 weeks?
No, I was only there for 5 days, so I don't know, maybe...
Wait a second.
Maybe I just didn't want to talk to anybody, which is kind of the truth, which you'll hear about later. But no, so we flew from Orlando to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, because we went to 2 national parks, Yellowstone and Grand Tetons.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait.
And
Jackson Hole, Wyoming, was it fancy? Because Hamptons people live there.
Yeah, so it's funny. When I was walking around, I got like the Hamptons vibes. I got like Park City, Utah vibes. It's all the same thing, really. It's basically a town that thrives in the summer and in the winter. So there's like constantly stuff going on. So it's a ski resort in the winter, and then it's a hot spot for the national parks in the summer. So
Nice.
it's a pretty cool town, though. It's like everything's in walking distance. You just park and you can bar hop, go to a bunch of good restaurants. It's a cool little city. Okay, so we showed up on Sunday, and that day, oh my god, it was like the worst, or not the worst, but the longest travel day ever, because we had 2 stopovers, and one of my layovers was like 5 hours long. So by the time that we actually got to Wyoming, it was like 8 p.m. We were exhausted, so we just basically went straight home and went to bed. Okay, so we flew into Jackson Hole, but we were staying in Idaho, which is just over the border. It's only like an hour away. So I got this cute little tiny home in Idaho with like a skylight above the bed so you can like watch the stars at night. And it was really small and really cozy, so we loved it over there. And so we were staying there. So the first day we kind of wanted to take it easy and, cut the drive down a little bit. So we just stayed local, So I asked the owner of the Airbnb, I was like, hey, what's there to do around here? Is there good hikes? And she told us that there was this hike called the Upper Palisades Lake hike. So I did that hike, and what's funny is, like, okay, I guess I had told Mark, who's my boyfriend, I guess I had told him that we were going to take it easy on Monday, so he was thinking we were going to, like, hang in the house, maybe go out to dinner.
I'm sorry.
And here's what happened.
Mark is just
we
like
hiked
me.
10 miles. We hiked 10 miles that day.
On the first day?
On the first day, and it wasn't even in the national park. We just hiked in Idaho 10 miles, and like after the first 3, he's like, "Dude, what the hell? I'm turning back. Like, I was not prepared for this." And I was like, "No, like, screw it. We're gonna grip it and rip it, dude. We're gonna finish this hike. It's gonna be beautiful." I kind of had to like talk him into it,
God.
like what I have to do with you, basically. I'm like, nah, it's fine. Just throw on whatever, we're going.
Oh, poor thing. I think that's hilarious.
So that's what we did, but it was beautiful, man. It was worth it. And I told him after, I was like, see, like, we wouldn't have experienced this if you wanted to turn around and go back.
What did he say? Or did he just collapse? No, I'm kidding.
No, he admitted it at the end. He's like, yeah, you're right.
He's
And then he got the picture he posted on Instagram was from that hike. I'm like, oh, so, you know, now you want to show it off and be like, oh, look at this great hike when you almost turned around.
Oh my God. If Mark and I could just, he's just like me. Like, we want to just lay on the beach, vibe. I remember when we went on vacation.
Oh,
we just want to like chill. And
yeah, you just want a beer in your hand and to lie
You're
down.
like 0 to 10 miles, like, first day.
Yeah, I know.
And you can't,
the first day,
you can't tell us what's happening.
Like 10 in the morning.
That is hilarious.
So that was a great first day, though. Dude, that hike was beautiful. It was like being in a national park, but it was so low-key, not as many people. Obviously, who the hell goes to Idaho, you know? Just, like,
okay, wait, I know a couple people from Idaho, if they ever listen to this, and there's a chance they will, because they're family friends.
No, I mean, I'm not ragging on it. I loved Idaho for multiple reasons. I want to go back. Like, we're already planning our trip back. But my point is, nobody knows, like, hey, I'm going to go visit Idaho. Like, not many people put that on their bucket list.
So random. Also, did you see any potatoes? I had to ask. I'm sorry.
I ate a baked potato. I did. It was not that good, though, because it was basically from, like, a roadhouse, a Texas roadhouse.
You had, like, just, like, the most touristy baked potato.
Yeah, so I messed up. I should have gotten, like, a legit potato.
It's like when you came here... Did you eat cheese curds? Did I make you eat cheese curds?
I ate cheese curds up there in Idaho.
Oh my God.
But no, I didn't eat them. I didn't eat them when I visited you, but we should
have. I don't know why we didn't, because like the first thing that happened when I came up here was like, you have to have the cheese curds. Like, Wisconsin,
but that's
cheese
not
curds.
Even from your state, right? That's from the state
Yeah,
over.
but it's like, they make it within the vicinity of Duluth. Like, we're right over the border of Wisconsin, and the dairy capital or whatever is like really close by, so all of our cheese curds come from there, and it's a huge thing. I'll get into it. I'll get into it next episode because I have a lot to say about Wisconsin. But anyway,
we have a whole episode on cheese curds coming at you.
That's part 2. But continue, please.
But yeah, so go to Tuesday. This is when the real shit hit the fan, guys. So
Tuesday, this is the second full day of your trip. How can shit hit the fan?
Well, it happened, and there's a reason that I'm bedridden pretty much right now. So Tuesday, we finally headed to the first national park, which was Grand Tetons. It was only about an hour from us. So woke up early, you know, packed a little snackies, hopped in the car, went over there, and we were doing this hike called Phelps Lake. So our plan was to do that hike that day, and then we were going to come back the next day and do another hike in Grand Tetons. Because there's like a couple that you could pick. Obviously, we weren't there a long enough time to do all of them. So I kind of looked through. I picked out the best ones. So we did Phelps Lake.
Nice.
So we start on this hike. It's around a lake. It's beautiful. Like, it takes you from like, you know, like low flat area around the lake through like a meadow, and then you start going uphill a little bit. It was a really beautiful hike. And then halfway across the lake, there's this thing called the Jumping Rock. So it's basically this giant rock off to the side of the lake, and it's probably between, I'd say, like 20 to 25 feet. I mean, it's tall. So you basically jump off of this into the lake, because it's deep enough, like right at the edge of the rock.
Sounds like a terror to me.
So, yeah. Well, okay, so preface this with, I've jumped off of a 40-foot waterfall. So to me, I was like, and I don't like heights. I'm not like, I mean, I like heights enough to like go skydiving stuff, but it also freaks me out.
Yeah, I would not. So I would freak the fuck out if I had to jump off a rock.
Yeah, I mean, it was so, but in my mind, I was like, oh, I've done a 40-foot waterfall, so this is probably cake compared to that, right? Wrong. I'm like, we get to the rock. Everybody else, there's some other hikers jumping off of it, and Mark goes first. And when he comes back, he's like, "Hey, don't look over the edge because it is really far. Just like run from the back, but make sure that you keep your arms in, you close your nose, and you go feet first."
Mm-hmm.
Now, me being scared as hell, all I hear him say is like, "Close your nose and like don't look over the edge," which is what I do, right? I just kind of like I take a couple steps back and I just go like flying ahead and I just jump off. And I kept my arms in and I kept my nose closed, but I forgot the part where he said to like straighten out your legs. And so I'm flying through the air and I land like my entire body weight on my knees.
No.
Because like the way that my legs were bent, like my feet went into the water first, but my knees took the brunt of like the splash and like the, you know, pressure at the jump. Yeah, so I'll post that video maybe.
Oh my gosh.
It's half embarrassing, half really cool because it is a cool video.
Wait,
but at the end of it,
did you have to go to the doctor?
At the end of the video,
go ahead.
No. At the end of the video, I come back up out of the water, and all you hear me say is, "Oh fuck." And Mark's like, "Uh-oh," like he knew something was wrong when I said that. And I could barely swim back to the edge, dude. Like I was like doggy paddling because I couldn't move my legs.
Oh my god.
It was, yeah, top 10 scariest times.
Did you have to like wheelchair around?
No, dude, you have to keep in mind, I'm halfway through a 10-mile hike, so how do I get back? I have to finish the hike.
Oh my god.
So I'm literally like, I have okay, so what we think I have is a contusion on both my knees, which is basically like a really bad bruise. And I think I have a bone bruise because it has healed since then. But imagine like having such a hard bruise on both of your knees and then you continue to walk 3 miles. Like it was terrible.
Oh my gosh.
I was like limping. I had to stop off every like half a mile and go into the lake because the water was really cold and it felt good on my knees. So I was like going in and just like wading through the water and it would feel good in that moment. And then I'd have to go out and keep walking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This was the second day.
Yeah, dude. And this is the second day, I know, which is a bummer because it totally screwed up my plans. Yeah. But at the same time, we made it worth it, so it's cool.
Oh my god.
So that night, I went to bed in tears. Probably top 2 worst pains of my life. Like, I literally was crying, and I couldn't even, like, lift up my leg to, like, sit on the bed. So I was rolling around like roly-poly-oly. It was...
Oh my god.
It's funny looking back on it, but... Yeah, it was painful.
And then, okay, so this is, I'm just, like, astonished. First of all, okay, mind you guys, I have not talked to her since she got back. Barely talked to her while she was even there. Obviously, she's in the middle of nature, enjoying herself, living in the moment. So I haven't heard any of this. This is all news to you. This is news to me. And... I'm just like, first of all, I'm always injury prone on my leg, as Stephanie knows. I end up waddling through anything we do for like no reason. But like the fact that like
the water park,
the fact that you had to like finish the hike and then you have a full schedule ahead of you, I'm just like trying
honestly
to understand. How you did it.
Yeah, it was like painful, but I kind of like I really consider myself a badass just from that trip because like you guys don't understand, like it's one thing to say like, oh, it was painful. Like I'm telling you, I was like crying. Like it was the most pain I've like almost felt in my entire life. And then I had to walk on those knees for 3 miles back to the car. It was like, yeah, it was terrible. But the moral of the story is I did not let that keep me down because although that day kind of sucked for that reason. The hike was beautiful, but obviously the injury sucked. The next 2 days, we planned to go to Yellowstone, so that's what we did. And obviously I couldn't do like the long hikes I had planned to do, but I kind of thought about it. Like I was bummed in the moment, but it also just gives us a reason to go back now because we didn't have that much time to do everything anyway. We were only there for 4 days. Yeah. And so that just kind of, I just had like a new outlook on it, and I was like, hey, this is just another excuse for me to come back and do all the hikes that I couldn't do.
I was gonna say, that's incentive to return.
Exactly. Yeah, and we still did a lot. I mean, we went to Yellowstone, we saw like a black bear, we saw moose, we saw elk, we saw a bunch of stuff.
No, you got your moose fix?
I got my moose, dude.
So you heard some crackles. If you saw that bear, you heard those crackles.
I heard a couple crackles in the woods, yes. And it was a bull moose, like, which apparently is very rare. Normally you see the females. We saw this bull moose crossing a river, like, swimming. It was beautiful.
Like Rocky and Bullwinkle in real life.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Exactly.
How close were you to them?
And from the moose, we were pretty far. We were, like, across, like, 2 portions of the river. So we had to zoom in on the camera, and we got, like, a good video. But it wasn't, like, from the naked eye, you could only see it, like, just kind of wobbling along and like going down there. Gosh. But the black bear, we saw a black bear in a tree that was maybe 20 feet from us. Gosh. So that was super cool.
Were you with a guide, or like how did that go down?
Girl, I didn't do guides. We didn't even have bear spray. We just like hopped in the car, parked at the parking area, and just like walked.
Oh my god!
Like we were just walking along like all these different trails and like moving around. Yeah, it was insane.
That's so cool.
But we did talk, so people like around national parks, which is one of the reasons I love to visit there. People are just so nice.
Yeah.
Like other tourists and visitors there, like I'll just be standing there admiring something, and then some older couple will come up to us and be like, oh, you guys should go here. We just saw a moose over here. Oh. You know, this is where we saw these wolves. Make sure you to go to this valley. And people just offer like all of this wonderful information that just makes your trip so much better.
That is so cute.
Really, the best people go to national parks.
I love that. I actually meant to tell you, someone I was talking to along the way, I have no idea who I was talking to, suggested that you should get a national park passport because it's like a one-time price and you get into all of the national parks. But obviously now you've been to like 2 of them.
Oh, someone recommended that for me?
I meant to tell you before you went, because then it's like one low price for all the national parks. And
well, I'm going to keep that in mind for the future because I have other ones on my list.
So like imagine if we went to like Puerto Rico and we went to that national park and then you went to Yellowstone and everything like all in one.
Oh my gosh.
I meant to tell you that.
And I want to go to Glacier. I want to go to Glacier in Montana next year. And Yosemite. So I'll keep that in mind.
For sure.
Yep. We got to do that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay, so you and I saw a picture of you with the geyser.
Yep, the geyser.
The old geyser.
Geyser. A geyser is like an old person, I think.
I didn't know if it was like the same word. It is an old geyser, though.
Geyser, yeah, Old Faithful.
Honestly, Faithful, that's what it is.
I mean, it was cool. It was cool, but this goes back to people giving us so much advice. So many people told us that there were other geysers in the area that were, like, cooler. Because Old Faithful, it's just, like, the popular spot. Like, it's kind of annoying because it's, like, on, like, a boardwalk with a bunch of stores surrounded it. So, like, they made this whole town around the geyser.
Wait, they have, like, a whole
really
town in the middle of a national park?
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're called lodges, but yeah, there's literally a lodge, there's a general store, there's some gift shops, a bunch of stuff, and then there's a boardwalk that walks you straight to Old Faithful. Wow. So, like, that part of it is really touristy, so you really got to go, like, backcountry to get in, like, the middle of nowhere. Which is our plan.
Which is what you would have done if you had working legs.
If I had knees that, yeah, exactly.
Once you get your knee replacements.
Fast forward, now I'm home. I've been home for about 6 days now. And my knees still hurt, dude. But they are getting better. So I'm going to wait another couple days, see how I feel like the end of this week. And then if it's still hurting, then I'll go to the doctor and I'll get some x-rays or whatever they need to do. But
definitely do that.
I'm fairly confident. I did my Google encyclopedia research, so I'm fairly, you know, that's accurate.
Your WebMD.
Obviously. So I think I'm confident that it's just a contusion and it'll heal, but to be to be continued. I will let you know next episode.
I'm just letting you know my knee never healed from that one time. I hurt it in soccer and then went to EDC that weekend and swore that it healed me. That was not the case. It still cracks.
Yeah. I don't see how EDC can heal anything.
Hey, the vibes.
That's great. That makes me feel good. Yeah, the plur.
The plur life was strong that year. Oh my God. So I feel like I have to tell you so much and it's so intimate, but I'm also telling the audience, my heart is racing thinking about what I've gone through since you left Minneapolis. Okay. So
I'm excited. I've heard like bits and pieces from when Kaehla drunk texted me.
Oh no.
Things.
Wait, can you pull up those texts for the appropriate times in the story?
Yeah. Oh.
I want you to put 2 and 2 together.
Oh, definitely. Give me.
I don't remember texting you.
Oh God. Okay. Let me go
Let's
back.
just start with the text. The date would have been, so September 2nd was when we went to a football game, but we went down on September 1st, which is Wednesday.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
So you're like fully into Yellowstone at this point, and what am I doing?
Okay, so I'm fully into Yellowstone, and I keep getting these texts from Kaehla, and they're just not making sense. So I'm just going to pull it up. The first thing she texted me, right? This is when I was, like, leaving it was right before Yellowstone. So she texted me, is it manatee or manadee? Like, with a T or the D. And I said manatee, and then she's like, no, it's manadee.
What?
And then she just keeps going off. She's like, you're like, I'm with Ruby and Angel, which are the bartenders that we went to in Minneapolis.
Okay.
And she said, I told Ruby and Angel you're writing a review. And then I said, you're back at the Lowe's? And then you just kind of stopped answering and then sent me a voice message like 4 hours later.
Okay, let me start there. Okay, so I have no idea why I would be asking you about manatees. Obviously, it's a T. I think I was trying to prove how Floridian I was and saying that it's manatee the way we say it, that people don't pronounce the T's. I think that's what it was.
I think so. But it gets better.
Because no one says manatee.
It gets better.
Okay, so this is Wednesday. Okay, so let me back up. We recorded our first podcast right before we took Stephanie to the airport. So I was driving back and forth to Minneapolis every single day.
And she could barely hang when I was there, so I can't even imagine going back and doing it for another 4 days.
Things got wild. I was back in Minneapolis on Wednesday to go see a Twins game because Parker's brother and his girlfriend came to town, and we were hanging out with another friend of theirs and his girlfriend. They live in Minneapolis. We all wanted to go to see the baseball game and then go to an Ohio State game the next day. So we start off with me being so excited with how successful Stephanie and I had. How was that even English? How successful our time in Minneapolis was. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to connect my AirPods too. I wanted to show them a good time in Minneapolis. So I took them back to one of the bars we went to. And the bartenders remembered who we were, or who I was, based on us visiting, me and Stephanie visiting. So they make us drinks. We're having a good time. I order some French fries because I know it's going to be a long night and I need my food. And they give us a card to a strip club. Like a free pass into the strip club so that we could sit down at a table and enjoy some drinks and
have a relaxing
and
night.
have a relaxing evening. Just two couples at a strip club. This is after the baseball game. I totally blocked out the baseball game. The baseball game was fun. But we have to skip to the strip club. So what was this voice message I sent you?
Okay, so after that, then I get this message. It says, almost done trouble for taking this picture, but the temperature is this your father? And then you said, and then you said, stop it. And then you tried to correct yourself, but it still didn't make sense. So then you said, almost got in trouble for this pic, but the stripper told me to take note so I could buy it for MGK. And at that point, I'm like, dude, you're drunk. I don't know what, like, super cool, but what are you saying?
Okay.
So explain that to me, please. MGK, a stripper, I don't know what's
So
going
did
on.
everybody understand that? I mean, it was perfectly clear. I don't think the father thing was supposed to be in there, and not I'm not entirely sure what I said, but I know what I meant. And I went to the strip club. It was me and my boyfriend, his brother, and his girlfriend. It was a really nice place, okay? The strippers didn't have a pole. I was a little upset about that. They had these giant like support beams that they were dancing on, and they had an MC introducing everyone. They would come out to their song that they picked for the night, and they would do a dance, and then they would come out on the floor and, do their thing with everybody, whatever. So, our goal for the night was to get, I don't know if I'm allowed to use names here. So I'm just going to make up a name, Emily. So Emily's the other girl in the group for the night. I mean, it would be easy to really figure out who these people are. But anyway, we needed to get Emily a dance because she had never been to a strip club and she had never had a lap dance. So, of course, this was first priority for us. And we had this nice, lovely lady come over and say, do you want to dance? And I had already peeped at her lovely shoes on stage, and I was like, you know what? Yes. And I gave her the money, and I was like, this girl needs a lap dance. So she gave Emily a lap dance and set her purse right on the table next to me. And I had already complimented the purse, just giving this girl compliments left and right. And this purse was a skull. It was like a black skull where she kept all her money. And I kept asking what the brand was because I needed it for a concert I'm going to. I'm going to an MGK concert. This is perfect. Like rock and roll, skulls, perfect. And she was like, yeah. She told me the brand. I'm drunk. I'm not going to remember. So the first thing I think is I have to take a picture of this purse. And of course, I didn't mean for my flash to go off, but it did. And immediately,
you're that person.
Immediately, people walk over and they're like, you can't take pictures in here. But they see my phone and then they're like, oh. And then they walked away because I was.
Oh, because they saw that you took a picture
Yeah,
of the
I was
purse?
looking at a picture of the purse. And I was like, she wanted me to remember the brand. And then after she finished her dance, I was like, thank you so much. Whatever, I started talking to her again. And I was like, I'm sorry, I had to get a picture of your purse so I could remember it. And she's like, yeah, this is the company name. And like, I was like, thank you for giving Emily a dance. She wasn't sure how to feel about this, but like you welcomed her. This is her first dance. And she's like, yeah, I love warming people up. And I was like, just like talking with her. She gave me a hug and then she went about her way for the night. And so that's my story. I felt like I told that really poorly, but I'm also halfway through my drink. So that is how
so naturally.
That's how I got away with a picture at a strip club. So this was
well, just from your text that whole night, I can tell you had a great time. So I'm not mad about it.
This was just the beginning. So
well, keep going. I want to hear more. So that was that night. What'd you do the next day?
Oh, no, the night's not over. So Parker and I wanted to continue going out. The rest wanted to go home. So, of course, where do we go? Sneaky Pete's. Stephanie and I, listen.
I love Sneaky Pete's.
Stephanie and I had the best time at Cowboy Jack's and Sneaky Pete's. I think those are the only two places we ended up going because they were so fun. So
Yeah, we just went back and forth between the two.
and of course, our hotel bar. So I went to Cowboy Jack's before the baseball game. And then I went to Sneaky Pete's after the strip club. And when we leave the bar, I am in such a good mood. I want to talk to everyone. I meet these rappers.
Classic.
I meet these rappers on the street corner, and I think I'm vibing with them. I got finessed by these rappers. They, instead of adding me on Snapchat, they cash apped themselves almost $1,000. And it's like not uncommon to like share social media with each other or like SoundCloud or something, whatever. Well, lo and behold, as we're getting into the Uber right after this encounter, I'm getting a text message from Cash App saying that someone charged $500, but they're not going to allow the payment to go through.
Oh my gosh, I've heard of this happening.
And you know what? I have to say respect to them for taking my phone and hustling.
Yeah, that's not a hustle, Kaehla. That's illegal. So,
yeah. So
let's go ahead and put that right there.
So the next day I had a nice conversation with my bank, and Cash App thankfully blocked the majority of it. They were like, Kaehla, you don't even have this money, so we're going to go ahead and not let it go through.
So you damn as well can't give it to somebody you've never met.
So yeah, I had to explain how like my phone was taken and they got onto Cash App somehow. I don't even know. I honestly don't even know how it happened. So I got finessed in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So just keep your guard up.
Keep that in mind. Sneaky Pete's might be a bad
No,
place.
It wasn't Sneaky Pete's. It was a street corner outside Sneaky Pete's. Actually, it was the exact
on your way.
It was the exact street corner that Stephanie and I. Okay, so what we didn't tell you guys last episode was the mac and cheese was almost non-existent. We were supposed to get pizza, but the street corner where the pizza was blocked off, like totally caution taped off with police. So we turned the other way and went like all the way around an extra block back to the hotel. So we couldn't really access the pizza place unless we like went in a full circle. So that's why we went home and made mac and cheese. I also sound like I'm so like slurpy, and I think I'm dehydrated. Anyway, I apologize for how I sound every episode. Anyway, so I'm going to take a quick sip right here of water.
The hot mess continues.
Gosh.
Because we said we were a hot mess last episode. We're a hot mess this episode. It just
never ends.
This is 26.
So this is 26. It's rough. It's rough in these parts. So anyway, yeah. So Stephanie and I never got our pizza. We never got to go on this specific corner, and that's the corner where I was finessed. So I need to find those cross streets names and just say bad luck. This bad vibes right there. So we went to a college football game the next day, and this was the season opener for the Big Ten. It was also the season opener for UCF, also the day UCF applied to be in the Big 12, and we were accepted, so shout out to them. And then we went back up to Duluth, but the fun does not stop there, not whatsoever.
Oh my gosh.
So I went to another strip club.
Wait, the same night? No,
this is the next day. So or
oh my gosh, Kaehla, what is with you in strip clubs?
I just want to support my girls, okay? Do you remember when we met a stripper on the Jamaica cruise?
I do.
Yeah, I want to.
Guys, we've had a lot of interesting stories.
We've had a lot of strippers in our travels. But I wish we could find her. She was fun. So this, yeah, we wanted to show them around Duluth, to show them a good time. And for some reason, strip clubs were just on the menu. So we wanted to see what this strip club had to offer in Duluth, Minnesota, because obviously, Stephanie, you can attest to this. Duluth is a different animal than Minneapolis. It's just completely different. Like,
Totally different.
just
Totally
day and
different.
night difference. This was a full nude strip club. I can't stop laughing about it because I just find it funny that this is how we spent our week.
Well, so let's just compare and contrast really quick, or actually just contrast. I was in the middle of nowhere, no service, like hugging trees basically, and you were at not one but two strip clubs.
And I played some I played some darts, okay, while the strippers danced. Oh, and this strip club didn't allow rap music. Like, they played music on a jukebox.
Gosh.
Okay, so the first strip club had an MC, and the girls chose their song that they would dance to. Well, this strip club, the audience chooses the song on touch tunes, but no bad words were allowed and no rap songs were allowed. So about 10 of the songs we chose were blocked.
Oh,
And
so what fun is
yeah,
that?
so basically the strippers,
What can you play? The Jonas
yeah,
Brothers?
no,
Like,
they
what
were
do they
they
want you
were
to
like
play?
basically dancing to like old American songs up to like Aerosmith. It was, and they were full nude. It was definitely a contrast.
That's
And I
yeah,
can't say I
that's
was quite a
weird.
fan of this place. I really liked the first place. It was really classy and just like fun. And this next one was like dive bar with naked women.
Ew.
So just
Okay,
call me the
yeah.
strip club connoisseur over here.
Call her the strip club queen.
I'll rate all the strip clubs 1 to 10. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna I'm gonna go to all the strip clubs.
Yeah, don't rate the strip clubs. Rate us on Apple.
Oh, ooh, I like that one. Yeah, I want to say the moral of my story is to just live it up like it's your last day. Like, just pick those things that you would never do in a million years, but you've always thought about doing. Like, just do them. Like, visit your local
Yeah,
strip
like if
club.
you want to go to a strip club, just freaking do it, dude. If you want to do 2 in one weekend, no
Yeah.
shame. Just do
And
it.
you know what the cool thing is we went into it with like we're in this together, and are you comfortable? Are you comfortable? And if it's not like that, that's where it becomes problematic. But as long as you're going into it with a trust and support, it's a fun time. Like, you're there to have a good
For
time.
sure.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Of course. We need to move on to our next segment, our free spirit segment. So this is when we have 3 questions we're going to ask each other. It's the same question, but we haven't discussed our answers. So this is completely raw answers, what you're going to hear. So the reason how we came up with these 3 questions is I texted Kaehla, I think it was while I was on my trip, and I was like, do you ever have like that moment when you listen to a song and it like takes you back to that time period, that place, whatever it was, like where you heard that song? I think music is like such a cool thing that it does that. Like, it literally puts you, it's like time traveling. It puts you back in that instance. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have 3 questions with 3 different songs and 3 different, 3 different situations. So the first question is going to be, what is the song that is the center of your last trip? So what song do you really like remember from the last trip that you went on? The second question will be, what is the song that reminds you most of the year 2016? Don't ask us why we picked that year. I think that was just a really good year for both of us. It was like our first year in college together.
And
So
it's
it was
just
I don't know, it was a great
it's
year.
a year that has been great for everyone I talk to. I mean, if nostalgia is a topic of conversation, 2016 seems to come up. I hope this isn't your song, but like, Drake says like summer 16. Like there was something about that year.
Oh, I forgot about that song. Yeah. Yeah, so then that's the second question. Third question, what is the song that got you through quarantine? So obviously last year we were all home for weeks, months on end. And I know that we all watched a lot of movies, listened to a lot of music. So what is like the number one song that really like reminded you of that? So let's go to question number 1. So what's the song that's the center of your last trip? Kaehla, you go first.
Okay, so my last trip was Minneapolis. We just talked about it. And I'm picking a song that didn't happen. I know that doesn't make sense, but
Wait, what?
Bring It Back by Travis Porter. You know the song that's like, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. You can act, you can act.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Now ladies. Wait, is that the same song? You know you bet. Anyway, Travis Porter in general brings me back. That's funny. Brings me back to my trip to Minneapolis because when we were in the second strip club, actually it was when we got back to Duluth. We were in the second strip club and we weren't allowed to play rap music. Travis Porter was the artist that we wanted to play so badly. Like we were just so caught up on the fact that we couldn't play Travis Porter. So I keep thinking about Travis Porter when I think about that trip.
So it was a trip. It was a song of the trip that wasn't actually on the trip, but you wanted it to be on the trip.
And we just talked about how we wanted it to be on the trip.
Oh, well, that's even better, honestly, because you're always going to remember that
exactly.
Now, even more so.
So what for you?
Okay, for me, it was Moon Tower by the Dirty Heads. So I went through a Dirty Heads phase, like, I don't even know. What album was that? The Sounds of Change, that album. It was back in like
2016. I'm just kidding.
2014, somewhere around then. But yeah, so when we were on this trip, it came on like a random Spotify playlist, and then we were like driving through like these meandering roads, like over mountains and stuff. It was so beautiful. And that song, if you've ever heard it, and if you haven't, go listen to it. It's so like mystical almost. So like driving through, we were like listening to that, and I was like, wow, this is such a vibe right now. Like we were driving with the windows down. It was so great. So then when we heard it, we kept playing it like at least once a day. And then Mark was actually like, I guess this is the song of the trip, because we just continue to play this every time.
That's so cute. And that's perfect because that totally fits your vibe. I feel like I need a better word than vibe.
I love mystical music like that.
And also I looked it up. It's 2014. You were totally correct, but I wanted to confirm it for you.
Yes.
And I do have My Sweet Summer saved on Spotify.
Oh, that's a classic. And Vacation. I mean, all their songs are like basically my life.
Vacation I still play all the time.
So that's so just my
I love that. Okay, next question.
All right, number 2. So what is the song that reminds you most of 2016?
Ooh, okay, so it's not Drake. What's yours?
Okay, so you know this song because I know that I've been with you a couple times when this has been played. Black Beatles by Ray Schremer.
Okay, that's a good one.
So not only have we played this like in the car, I played it with Kaehla a couple times when we were like out drinking and stuff in that year.
I didn't think of that song, but that was definitely one of our songs.
Yeah, we played it all the time, along with that song Broccoli. I don't even know who sings that. Lil Yachty, one of those people.
I love it.
But this song specifically, I was in Vegas with a club that I was at in college, and we hired a party bus like with a stripper pole in it, and we were like driving around Vegas, and we were playing like a bunch of rap songs, a bunch of different songs, and then when this song came on, dude, it was like everybody was friends with everybody. We were all like dancing, like going on top of the seats, doing a bunch of stuff. So it's just like that image and that view in my mind. I'm like, wow, that's like college at its finest.
You guys got crazy in that group. Like It was like a serious group.
People were drinking Coors Light instead of water to hydrate. Like that's that type of trip.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Which, to be honest, it's basically water anyways.
I apparently mixed up my years. Mine's actually 2017, but it's like January 2017. But it's the same school year because that school year was epic for Stephanie and me. We had moved out. We moved back with our families, but we were having so much fun still. Like, it was like, we thought we were
still together.
We thought we were gonna save money, but we just partied basically. So my song also similar memories to Black Beatles, but Migos, Bad and Bougie.
Oh, that's a classic.
I just had this obsession with Migos because everything they put out was popular, and we would hear it literally everywhere we went. Stephanie and I have countless videos that we will never release of us singing Bad and Bougie.
Oh, dude, I miss those days. All right, and our last question is, what is the song that got you through quarantine last year?
Okay, so for this question, Stephanie and I went to Spotify and consulted Spotify's Your Top Songs of 2020. And so, Stephanie, you go first again.
Okay, so I only had 2, which is kind of pathetic. But I know I listened to more, so maybe there was like a glitch in the system there. But the top one, and I know I listened to this like almost every morning, was What's Poppin' by Jack Harlow.
I wonder if that's on my list.
So, first of all, great song. But second of all, my friend from Belgium actually was living with us for a period of time during quarantine because he got stuck here. And so he was living with us for a couple months, and every morning I was working from home, so I would walk over to my computer, which is in our guest room, and I would sit down and like start my day, and he would be sitting in there because he, was staying over in the guest room. And he would just be like, "Are we playing the song?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, turn it on."
Gosh.
And he would just play it. He would just play it on repeat, and I would just be sitting there jamming, like making my calls, and he's on his laptop working, like listening to it. It's just, it's one of those cherished memories that I will always have.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so mine's overwhelming. Give me a second here.
Well, you had like 15 songs pop up, probably more than that, right? 6 hours. No, you said 6 hours of songs.
I didn't have a go-to song in the quarantine, but I just want to tell you all, I'm kind of bragging and I'm kind of embarrassed that for 2 years in a row, Spotify has let me know, it has notified me that I am Ariana Grande's top 1% listeners in the world.
That's an accomplishment, dude. Like, what do you have to do to get that
You
title?
have to live in LA and literally sing her songs in traffic every single day to get that accomplishment.
Oh my god.
So guess how many Ariana Grande songs hit this list?
Well, you said 6 hours worth, so I'm gonna say, let's say 25.
Ooh, okay. Wow, you're actually really close. I had 21 Ariana Grande songs on this list.
Oh my gosh, dude.
If you could please share your songs with us, your answers to these questions. It's super fun. We want to connect with you all. And also, go ahead and give us some question ideas.
And if you want us to feature you on like a future episode, we can definitely feature your answers if you want to. Or we can keep you anonymous, whatever.
Just DM us. We don't bite. We talk. Anyway, so we are officially on all the podcasts that you see on our Anchor page, anchor.fm/r-we-having-fun. That includes Apple Podcasts. Mm-hmm. So please rate us 5 stars and review our podcast because everybody who has done that is getting a free care package from us. Also, I would like to point out the fact that we are still super serious about planning a trip with ourselves. Plus, we would love to include you guys.
Yeah, we're going to make it happen. We'll put that into the works.
I already have some ideas.
Yes. But in the meantime, please rate and review. And even just share our link. Like, even if you want to share it on your story, help us out, help some girls out. That'd be cool.
Totally.
We love you guys, and we will see you next
we love
week.
You. I'm going to wake up in a full 5 hours, so.
5 hours.
I'm actually really scared of this area. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Okay, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, you're delirious. Go get some sleep. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
They wake up when the roosters crow, or when the crows quack. No, they don't quack. When the crows caw.
When the crows crackle, Kaehla will be up.